everyone, I'm Matt, also known as mhauser321, and I'm doing a walkthrough slash let's play of Kid Icarus for the NES. I'm doing the NES version, and I'm going to start off by giving you a little bit of basic information behind the game. It was released in 1986. This is the inventory screen. I'll get into that a little later on in the video. But it was released in 1986, a year after the official launch of the Nintendo Entertainment System. There were 3 adaptations of the games. I think there was a Game Boy sequel in 1991 maybe. There was a Wii Virtual game, and there was a 3DS version of the game just released recently. And then also Pit, the main character, was featured in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I think that was a widely liked character. I think we'll talk about the story next. The story is Angel Land was taken over by the Queen of Darkness, Medusa. You, as Pit, must find the 3 sacred treasures and rescue Palutena, the Queen of Light. I'm only going to pronounce that once. I honestly don't know how to say it. I'll call her the Queen of Light. And the Queen of Light, with her last power, sent you a bow and an arrow, and you escaped from the prison in the underworld that you were in, and now you set out to save Angel Land. That's basically the story behind this game. I'll talk a little bit about the game itself right now. Right now, what you see I'm doing is I'm advancing upwards in the screen. It's basically a platforming slash side-scrolling game. You go from left to right sometimes, and you go up from bottom to top. I grabbed a harp there, and it gave you a couple mallets. I'll explain the mallets later, what they do, because they're not that useful for you until you get to a dungeon. I'll probably explain it then. The game itself has a experience-based leveling system, and if you're not familiar with the game, you're probably not even going to make it past like the first 2 levels without giving up, because you're a really low level and you die really easily. So I'm kind of making this video to give people some tips so that they can get past that, and then after that the game's pretty smooth sailing. I really actually like the last 2 sets of levels. Now the experience-based leveling system is based on how many enemies you kill, and every enemy you kill you get a certain amount of points, and after you reach 20,000 points you level up, and then the next level is 50,000 points, and then the next level is 100,000, and the next level is 200,000. Now every set of enemies usually spawns 4 times, so you can kill one set and wait around and kill the next set, and you'll see me doing that from time to time until all 4 sets are gone. This is a treasure room, and there is a specific key that I have written down to crack this, and you can get a lot of treasure out of these rooms. I'll probably put the key in the info section of this, because I didn't make it up. I got it from a guide that I saw online, and I don't want to plagiarize anybody's material. But basically you just hit a specific treasure, I'm going to call them pot, specific treasure pot each time, and you count the number of mallets, and that corresponds to where the bad pot will be, the one you aren't supposed to shoot. As you can see there, I got a potion, and what a potion does is when you get to 0 health, it'll enact on its own, and it'll give you like a 1/4 of your health bar. And every time you level up, you get more health, which when you get to level 2, basically you have enough health to survive a lot of hits, but right now you have none, so it's really hard. You have like a 1/4 of a bar, and that's why the first 3 levels are the hardest, because you have no health, you die really easily. But I'm going to help you get through that. There are strength rooms throughout they're throughout the game, and they upgrade your attack power, and I'll show you one of those when I come to it, but they are based on a hidden stat that you don't see, and it basically corresponds to how many times you get hit and how many enemies you kill in that level, because it resets after every level, and not every level has a strength room, so you have to be prepared for those, and I'll tell you when and where to be prepared for them. There isn't one, I don't believe, in the first level. Yeah, the first strength room is in the second level, and I'll show you exactly what to do to get the first strength upgrade. there are 3 weapons that you can get also, and you can get them in these rooms. I'm going to call them endurance rooms, because if you can withstand the test that they do in the rooms, you get a choice of one of the 3 weapons. Now here I get hit coming up, and you'll see the potion enacted on its own. I didn't have to do anything. Now right now we're in the underworld, and we're fighting to the surface. I'm going to call it the surface world. And then the next world after that's the sky world. I think it's the Angel of Light's, or the Queen of Light's sky castle is the last world. Controls are a little bit iffy. I'll explain that. Basically don't press up when you're trying to jump, because if you press up and A, you won't jump. You'll just sit there. Now this next part I'm going to explain the inventory screen, because I paused it here for a minute. There's the total, which is your total score for the entire game. Score, which is your score for that level. Hearts, that's the currency of the game. You get that for you get a heart or a certain amount of hearts after each enemy you kill. Endurance, that's your health meter. Strength is that attack power. Weapons were the weapons I was talking about. These 5 bottom slots are all items, and I'll talk about those when we come into them. The top right bottom slot, or the top right slot, is for a credit card. It's kind of a rare item. And then treasures are the 3 treasures you get after defeating the 3 dungeon bosses. Now my score right now is roughly 10 to 11,000 K. In order to get to the first and second levels, you have to get to 50K is the second level and 20K is the first level. So I'm going to show you the spot I used, and it worked for me numerous times. It's a little bit time consuming, takes about 10-15 minutes, it's kind of boring, but if you can do this and withstand that, the rest of the game is pretty much, I want to say cake, not per se, because you have to know what you're doing, but it's a lot easier than it would be if you didn't do it. Some people try to level up on the first level, and I tried that. I tried it like 7 or 8 times, and it was just hard, so I found this spot to be way easier. And it's not fun, but I did it. I've done it probably about 3 or 4 times, and you know, you'll get used to it. It only takes a little while. The next thing, let's see. I haven't made a video for a while. The reason was I just wasn't interested in making videos, but I injured my ankle. I rolled it like really bad about a week and a half ago, so I've had a lot of free time. I haven't been able to work out or do anything, so in that free time I've spent, you know, playing this game, a couple other games. I decided to make a walkthrough for people because I found this game to be very challenging at the beginning, and as soon as I found out the little tips and stuff, it was really easy. So here I'm just trying to defeat the 4 sets of enemies, which you should do until you reach the max level. Once you reach the max level, you don't really have to kill enemies for experience anymore. You just kill them for the hearts. They're the hearts. Half hearts like worth, I think maybe 5, and then a whole heart's worth 10. I'm not getting that chalice yet because I'm waiting to see if I'm gonna lose some health killing the guys. It's called a chalice. It's like a little health potion. You use it right away. It doesn't get stored. There's an item. There's a lot of items in this game, but the one that I want to recommend everybody gets right away, what you spend your money on first, is a feather. And you're asking, what's a feather? Well, a feather is in case you fall. Like if I fell down right now to the bottom of the screen, I'd die, and it would restart me at the level at the end of the last level. Basically at the beginning of this level. And it gives you everything you had before you started it, but like if you have a feather in your inventory, it'll automatically use itself and you can fly up. There'll be instances where I'll have one and I'll use it, I'll be able to show you, but basically if you have enough money and you're at your first market, you should buy the feather first, because it's the most useful. It'll save your life. See, there's a feather right there, there's a barrel. I don't have enough money, I just went in there. But the feathers, I'll get one eventually. We're going to be coming up to that first level up screen here real quick. Well, not level up screen, the first spot to level up. And I'm going to cut out, but you come over to this left platform and you jump up all the way until the screen's advanced the highest. And then you come over and you stand here, and then you turn your TV volume down to 0, and you do this for like 15 minutes. And once you get to like where your score is totaled above 50,000, or at least to 50,000, you advance and beat the level. And it's probably going to cut out here because I took this version out. 'Cause, see, it cuts out. I have 12,000 and 10,000, which means I have like 22,000. Now I have 42,000. See, I sat there and did that for like 15 minutes. So I have a total of like 52,000. So now if I beat the level, I'll have leveled up twice. So I gotta make it to the end of the level, which is challenging in itself too, because the end of this level is a little bit tricky. I was mentioning before with the controls, there's also a duck. If you duck on most platforms that don't appear like these little ice platforms, if you duck through them, they don't appear to be solid. You fall through them. So you basically don't even use down most of the time. You basically don't use up unless you're shooting up on a or you don't use up when you're jumping, because if you jump with up, you don't jump. You just sit there and point up. And so you basically just left, right, and shoot most of the game. That's about 95% of the controls. I really like this game. I got in here because I just leveled up. I got a ton of extra hearts, so I buy my first feather. Boom. Now if I fall, it'll catch me. It's pretty sweet. I was checking something out about my website today. I was checking out some of the analytics, not my website, but my YouTube channel, and it said that a lot of my viewers were from the United States. Then my second most viewers were from Canada, and I want to give a shout out to anybody in Canada who watches this. And then my third most viewers from UK. So anybody in the UK watching these videos, I'm giving you a shout out as well. And the fourth one was Swedish viewers. So if you're Swedish, I want to say hey. I don't know any Swedish people who would watch this, but if you're out there, hey. Okay. Now this next section is fairly easy. The platforming isn't that hard. Oh, you see, I fell there, and my feather came in and it was activated, which is really cool. I think I actually pull off a pretty crazy move coming up here in a minute. I get hit here, I almost fall, get hit again, and then come back. That's a little scary. I mean, I could have fell really easily. But we're just going to keep progressing. Those right there are the enemies on the ground, and they're very tricky. Sometimes if you just stand still in an area where they appear, you'll just get hit by them, and you won't even realize it. They'll come up underneath you, and they'll take your health. So you just got to keep moving in areas where you see them. Like I know they appear in this last area, so I just keep moving. Here I'm going to run in this room real quick, and this is the first endurance game, I think? Or no, this is the first strength room. Now the strength rooms are based on a hidden stat, and since I sat there and farmed, I got enough of that stat. I read somewhere the stat is basically based on how many kills you get and how many times you get hit by an enemy. I'll talk more about that later in the other videos. You can see my score adds up to 50,000, so I level up twice. I just want to let everybody know that I'll be making another part, and I appreciate the views. If you like this, please leave a comment. Please, if you like the whole channel, please subscribe. And thank you for watching, guys.